Good morning, everyone. It's time once again for our weekly visit with Dan Yagi from Ag Performance of Buffalo Center and Ormsby. Good morning, Danny boy.
Rolls, as always, you look sharp, you look good.
Well, like I say, week after week, you got to dress for success, my friend.
I love the tie. You guys got to see them, as I always say.
That's all you need. All you need to do is just imagine me in a tie. Some people can, some people can't.
Oh, yeah, you look good.
Well, there you go. There you go. Well, anyway, here we are, the first full week of, or I should say the second full week here of January already. Where did the first full week go last week here, Dan?
You know, Christmas gets mixed in, then you go to work, and you think, oh, my God, I'm back at work again. Mm-hmm. You got 1,000 things piled up, so it goes fast for 4 or 5 days. Right. But overall, nope, it's been awesome this year. Mm-hmm. Inputs are probably a little slower here at what guys buying. I think they're afraid of going and borrow more money. Grain prices aren't very good. Mm-hmm. They got their own line of credits, highest interest rate they probably paid in 5-6 years. They don't want to go get another 8% note again or 7% wherever they're at. Mm-hmm. And I think guys are a little hesitant. I think the cash flows aren't working this year too as well. So they're looking at each line item and saying, okay, am I doing the best job possible? Do I need this? Could I replace that or whatever? There's a lot of thinking going on this year on the way guys are going to put their crops in. Mm-hmm.
And speaking of that here, we're getting into the heart of tax season. A lot of guys are preparing to file their 2024 returns, and there's a lot for farmers to think about when it comes to income tax time, isn't there?
There is, and I think there's a chunk of guys with tax issues, and they feel like, or looked at if they went to their banker and looked at their balance sheets and compared their net worth gains, that they probably didn't make as much money as they did the last 3 years, but they got a big tax liability. That's always scary. I mean, because they've been shoving it forward and maybe not paying the taxes before, and there's a little bit of everything. But out here on the tax side of it is, yes, guys have worked on it, have bought their inputs or whatever to get away with taxes. But, still one of the best things for a tax deduction, and a lot of people don't know this, or a percentage doesn't know this, but when you buy farm ground, you can deduct the fertility by taking a soil sample every 10 acres and deducting that based on the fertility you got out there. And you have to have a CCA or an agronomist put that together. And if it's got tile or quite well tile, you can deduct that. There is up to $3,500 an acre on a well-tiled, well-fertility field. It's documented. My accountant will do that. That you can deduct that in 1 year. You can. Or you can do a 70%, 20%, 10% deduction on that land you buy. And let's pick even numbers. At $10,000 in an acre, it's probably higher now. Let's take $12,000, $14,000, whatever. If you can get $3,500, even $3,000 deduct off, that is 25% of that purchase price I can take as a tax deduction and save, depends what bracket you're in, but 30% of that, if you're in the higher brackets, you can deduct from that and figure that's free given to me. I'm not paying taxes. Now, you got to pay for that farm. But I just love farmland if you can afford it. Our family's always bought farmland probably before we bought a lot of machinery, if anything. And everybody's different what they want, but you got to be able to pay for it, and it takes a lot of money to do it. But that deduction in farmland, some people don't want to deduct that, like the CPAs. And I think it's called a gray area. I have 3 sheets, a 179, 180 ruling, and then the ruling to deduct the fertility. I got rulings from state laws that allow us to do it. It's just what it says in there kind of puts what percentage you can deduct. But I have done that for years.
Okay. All right. If anyone has any questions or comments about anything, yes, Dan, anything you and I talk about on a weekly basis, how'd they get a hold of you?
Call us at Ag Performance at 641-562-2370.
I was just making to look sure your cheat sign was gone here.
It's gone.
All right. Dan, have a great week. We'll talk again next week.
Thanks, Rice.
All right. Visiting with Dan Yagi from Ag Performance of Buffalo Center in Ormsby.